You're watching the Chaos Protocol on Transplanar RPG, an all-transgender, people-of-color-led dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original non-colonial, anti-Orientalist multiverse. If you like what you see, please consider pledging to our Patreon to support the show and get access to a patron-only after-show, early podcast episodes, GM notes, character sheets, and even the chance for your tabletop OC to cameo in our series. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. The Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. Content warnings for this episode include complex and complicated relationships, blood, food, alcohol, fantasy violence, bones, and references to cannibalism. Arc 2, Episode 18, And Demons Howl, from Carved Inside an Empty Urn by Connie Chong. Strike Team Nova. Deja vu settles over your party as you stand in the empty, the real, hall of peerless destiny. The last time you were here, you'd been shaking off the nightmares of mist-made beasts, with Xiao Cheng at the foot of that throne of red sandalwood. But this time, the three of you are alone. Xiao Cheng is nowhere to be seen. Neither is the artifact room, though it must be close by. Upon waking, the mist must have deposited you to the closest public location adjacent to that room, which is here, the Hall of Peerless Destiny. It's odd being back here, knowing that the City of Mist is but a dream. But now that you're consciously aware of it, this version of the city does indeed feel more real. The ground beneath your feet is solid and cold. A breeze tickles your skin. Your eyes feel unclouded. Or perhaps it's less that this city is more real and more that the shroud from the dreaming city has been lifted from your consciousness. You realize that the befuddling haze that whelms you every time you step from night to day is, in fact, the haze of dreams. No wonder you forget who you are during that transitional period. No wonder the troubles of the City of Mist are literal nightmares. In retrospect, all of this makes sense. You simply had to lift the curtain of mystery to perceive it. Strike Team Nova. As you gather your bearings in this empty, real Hall of Peerless Destiny, what is the first course of action that you take?
Eurydice Protocol.
Eurydice Protocol. Activate.
Correct.
Do you say that in character as Seir out
No!
Eurydice Protocol.
Activate! You know what? I think it's kind of funny for Seir to be the one to call the Oracle, because he hasn't actually done that. So as soon as we land, Seir pulls his arm up and just says, "Eurydice Protocol activate," and just calls the Oracle.
The Oracle appears in a swirl of orange light and a puff of a light, refreshing citrusy scent.
Oh, hello, Strike Team Nova. It's so good to see the three of you again. Shall I give you a play-by-play, beat-by-beat of my day so far?
Later,
Maybe later.
sweetheart.
Oh,
We need
okay.
Artemis at this point in time. I do apologize.
All right, no problem. I'll give it to you later then. Calling Artemis. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Dee-dee-dee-dee.
And Artemis appears in that haze of blue static, all pixels and power, and a wavering magical hum around their silhouette.
Well, thank you, Connie. Artemis does look at you instantly. Unlike in your first call, the patron saint is already looking at all of you through that miasma of static when the connection is finally made. Her eyes check over each of you quickly, ensuring that you are safe, ensuring that you are well, ensuring that there are no holes in you, ensuring that you are alive. And when they find what they're looking for, they nod. Welcome back, Nova. Status update?
Things have developed. We've gotten some troubling answers, and shortly after this, we have someone we have to go find. But first, I think we have quite a bit to catch you up on.
We met Emperor Longdu.
Tell me everything.
And Lumièra's eyebrow quirks, and it just, like, play by play. As if you were actually there down to where everyone was standing in the room. You get exactly what happened, all the information, what Lumièra knows about this so far, and leaves the door open for Seir and Xainan to add in what they feel is necessary or anything that I forgot or was not there for.
There's a special kind of attention, I think, that comes when somebody is writing down your every word, and you see it. You see Artemis's hand moving just off of frame, like noting everything that you say down, every single one of you. And when you finally come to the end of this update, Artemis nods thoughtfully.
Xainan does add, new to both of you as well, that the Emperor and the ruler of the Underworld have a striking resemblance.
Mm. Does Seir add anything in particular?
Seir I think looks very different to Artemis, where before distraction was gnawing at the corners of his mind. There's only focused when hunger is so devastating that it forces you to hunt, to observe. That's what you see in Seir. Finally, the old Seir is back. The hunter is back. And he doesn't... I think he chimes in every now and then for any observations that he makes of Emperor Longdu. And I think the only thing he adds is, as everyone has said, I don't think it's Xiao Cheng. There's someone else that's either taken advantage of the situation or has carefully plotted for everything to come to a head as it has. The only one who has all those answers for us is the courtier.
I see. Well done, the three of you. Those are the agents I know, the agents I trained. And again, that little flash of pride flicks in her eyes. You are very wise for having made contact with the Emperor herself. And at this point, it seems like your task is a straightforward one, if not easy. Do as she says. Take the river gorge to the tallest peak and reunite the two cities of heaven. Then you can focus on who exactly is causing such a disturbance within the mist.
Wouldn't want it to happen again.
Precisely. I have an update on my end as well, pertaining to your ask from last time, Agent Esh. It seems that you are right, twofold. There already is a strike team on Yaolan, attending to the disasters in the mortal realm. And that team is Strike Team Phoenix. Hand Lucy brought me their update from On Mission just a few hours ago.
And
you seem to have hit a bullseye. Well done. The report from Lucy suggests exactly what you stated in your last debrief: environmental and social collapse on a grand scale. Many mortals are suffering, and Phoenix believes that it is directly caused by the absence of the gods. There is nothing that they can do from their position, sans helping who they can, wherever they are. Apparently, there are a great many heroes coming forth. but there will be no salvation until the gods are restored to their proper realm. They seem to be the fabric of this world, the fabric of the journey of itself within this realm. Your mission to restore them back to the waking world is of the utmost importance.
It is good to know that Phoenix gets to be there to guide the journey.
Someone must.
Thank you.
Lumièra goes so tense. Her eyes wide again. Hearing her old strike team is also here. Amaru is here, as is Cove.
And almost reading your expression, reading your thoughts, reading your face, Artemis goes on to say, we are working on establishing a stable connection between you and Phoenix at this point. The threads of the journey are loose all over the sister realms, so it seems, so it may take some time. In the meanwhile, focus on your mission.
Is Hand Lucy all right with this? It spills out of Lumièra's mouth before she's even able to stop it. I think it's her own. It's her own lack of self-confidence in this moment.
Hand Lucy and I had a long discussion about it. We believe that this is the best course of action, given that both of our teams are enacting Eurydice protocols.
And Agent Xainan and I have a good working relationship.
So I've heard. And Artemis almost like looks away and notes something, like kind of, you see her hand like move down to like a margin somewhere and like make a note of that. before, like,
Xainan is
moving
full
back.
of crap.
Yeah, it's like it's like a tally gets placed somewhere, like if some kind of bet between her and Lucy going on in the background there. And they look over the three of you just once more.
Seir scoffs hearing about Strike Team Nova. It's hard now that the mask is peeling off against his will. More of his old self is coming back, and he tries to shake it off of him. And then he catches onto something that you said, Hand, and he looks up, both enacting the Eurydice protocol.
Like I mentioned, the disasters on Yaolan are seeming to break apart the very fabric of the journey. Depending on what region Strike Team Phoenix is traveling to, things have been getting a little distant for the Syndicate. They're able to make contact in holy sites, near Ascension Gates, though they are not able to travel.
Understood.
And you are sure Hand Lucy is all right with her team working somewhat in tandem with me?
Yes. You are my Strike Team member, and I shall not put you in any danger just because of past circumstances. This is what the Prime Oracle has decreed. Strike Team Phoenix is on Yaolan, and you are in the City of Heaven. This is how it is. This is how it will be.
Yes, sir.
Lumièra.
And she looks up at you.
And Seir says nothing but looks into your eyes with his bright blue ones. And there's a moment where the real Seir wants to peek through, but instead a brightness shines through instead. It'll be okay. We'll just do what we have to, okay?
It's very likely that you will not come into direct contact with Strike Team Phoenix. At least not until the realms are restored to one.
Okay.
You're close now, Nova. Keep going.
Yes, sir.
Heard.
Very well. Trust in her will.
Trust in her will.
Trust in her will.
And the static evaporates in a little puff of sparkling smoke.
The oracle swishes back into existence now that the call dissipates in those sparkles and in that mist.
Oh, is the call with Hand Artemis done? I didn't want to interrupt with my play-by-play.
Yes. We're done with that.
Before you regale us with your endeavor for the time that we were gone,
Mm-hmm.
where is the courtier?
Oh, that's at the very end of my play-by-play, but if you would like to speed to that...
Lumièra drops 3 ball bearings on the top immediately. Like, please, the things that are important right now.
Oh, delicious. Okay, so as for the courtier's location, Xiao Cheng is currently getting harassed by some demons at the Plum Leaf Ascension Gate, and I think they're in a lot of trouble.
Why did you lead with that?
Yes!
Not
And
only
Xainan
why did you
spins
lead with that,
around.
but why didn't you lead with that, but why was there not more alert in your voice behind that? Why did you mention that like we were taking a stroll?
Well, you said that I should wait until the end. Would we like to take some time here to unpack maybe why I didn't tell you that immediately?
No, no, darling.
We have to
And
go.
She drops another one in the top. No.
Okay, follow me.
And all of you follow the oracle, who levitates forward out of the hall of Peerless Destiny like a little orange that's just bobbing along a stream. And they're out.
Xainan aside does actually say to Lumièra, we need to get a tune-up scheduled.
Our next bit of downtown we have, I will take to the schematics and update it.
You'll never remove my sparkling personality!
I never want to.
You dim-witted creation of fate, I swear!
Oh, it takes one to know one! At least I was wanted! Are you gonna follow me or what? Or are we just gonna keep shouting back and forth at each other?
No more ball bearings
What?
for the rest of the day. Grounded. Down. No. That's not nice.
The oracle
Apologize.
screeches to a halt in the middle of the ramp leading out of the Hall of Peerless Destiny and turns from one part of their faceless body to the other part of their faceless body to look at you.
Well, if you want me grounded, I suppose you won't know how to get to the Ascension Gate. Now, would
All
you?
of you.
That
We are
is
in a hurry. The journey
Absolutely.
is at stake here. Can we have this disagreement later?
Lumièra is stomping her foot. Like,
Oh, I'm stomping my foot too. Just imagine it. Stomp, stomp.
if you
Oracle. Oracle, please.
Yes, Papa. Follow me.
Fine, Agent Ash.
Seir groans.
The oracle turns again, that twig spiraling and the leaf flowing in the wind, and faster than you can almost keep up with, they start zooming down the ramp and leading you to the Plum Leaf Ascension Gate, which is located within the second courtyard of the Royal Palatial Complex, which is some 15 kilometers away from the Hall of Peerless Destiny. So you're booking it for a minute. The oracle leads you through the dizzying sprawl of the Heavenly Palace. You breach the gates in reverse. So the fourth gate first, then the third. This fourth gate is as rich as smoke and light as tea. The courtyard surrounding it teeming with imperial buildings made of pure jade. Past the fourth gate, you find the third courtyard, rich with rolling hills, devoid of divine beasts, beasts who have been taken by the mist, just like their tenders. Those magnificent creatures, too, are dreaming. You traverse rich woodland, emerald fields, sapphire rivers, silver footbridges, until you reach the third gate, an archway as red as blood and white as bone. As you step beneath this paifang, you find yourselves amidst blooming orchards filled with magical fruit trees, oranges of wisdom, lychees of joy, peaches of immortality. But even these divine fruits require careful tending. It's been over a week since the heavenly arborists have taken care of their orchards, so the ground is dense with thick golden pollen. Weeds poke through roots. Overripe fruit hangs low on pained branches, the most rotten of them fallen and splattered all across the soil. The oracle pauses, momentarily distracted by an orange tree. And again, though they have no eyes or face, they seem to be staring at a perfectly spherical clementine as though seeing something of themselves in its reflection. But then they shake themselves and continue levitating forward. Your strike team steps past a dense thicket of berry bushes and into a clearing. A courtyard, to be exact, framed by 4 buildings and populated by various divine trees. A sign above this archway reads, Plum Leaf Courtyard. And in the center of this sizable plaza, you see an elevated dais carved with the same runic calligraphy as the portal your party zapped in on, except the runes are glowing. A dark light, an inverse of light, resonates from the characters, a lingering remnant of the magic that sent its travelers all the way up to the city of heaven. And speaking of those travelers, you see them now. 3 gods. No, demons. Loitering beneath a peach tree that's swollen with pink petals, surrounding a very nervous and very flustered Hun Xiaocheng. The first demon is the biggest. His frame is so mighty that it reminds all of you, just for an instance, of a woman ablaze in the wild sea. Their skin is a rich emerald green that contrasts with their crimson robes and a huge, heavy necklace of bone white skulls on a string. His eyes are black, pure black with blood red irises. Long, thick black hair sweeps from their head to their waist with careless abandon, lined with streaks of sand-colored gold. They sport a thick black beard with the same kinds of streaks, and they wield a massive, thick-shafted monk's spade. It is a polearm with a flat, spade-like blade on one end and a smaller, crescent-shaped blade on the other. And he's currently balancing it across his shoulders like a golfer would with his club, standing in a casual but menacing pose. The second demon is a lithe, quick person with short, dirty red hair combed out of their face and light brown skin. Their yellow-green eyes have slitted pupils and are sharp, curious, flitting constantly from object to object in this courtyard, not entirely attentive to the bullying conversation at hand. Instead of robes, they wear shanku, a flowing, wide-sleeved shirt tucked into a pair of trousers, and they move with a sort of grace and precision, and their ears are tapering and mobile, constantly moving and turning to take in as much stimulus as possible. And as far as your party can tell, they're unarmed, though they do have 9 long, fox-like tails that sprout from their spine, fanning and waving in various directions. The third demon appears to be their leader, and for good reason. She is a feminine and vicious-looking woman with pale skin the color of bone. Her long black hair is parted in elegant bangs around her face, and she wears a set of pure white robes, the same pellucid color of her skin. A translucent shawl wraps around Ta elbows and waist, glimmering like the first snowfall of winter. Ta holds a tuan shan, a round, black silk fan with a long wooden handle. And on either side of the fan, you see an intricately embroidered, pure white skull. In the face of these three demons, Xiaocheng has their back pressed against the trunk of a peach tree and is waving their hands in a rather defensive and appeasing manner. Friends from the Underworld, I'm not sure where this so-called river gourd you're looking for might be, but might I suggest you return to the Underworld while I personally search the city on your behalf so you don't have to waste your time up here. The massive demon leans in, his thick beard bristling as he speaks. Oh yeah? Well, I think the gourd we're looking for is on your waist. Oh, this old thing? And Xiaocheng quickly and protectively puts their hands over the gourd, strapped to their robe, and pivots their hips to hide it. Oh, this is a wine gourd from the Western Wind God. I borrowed it from their private stores, you know. The lithe, quick demon leans in, sniffing the air around the covered gourd. I don't smell wine. Tang Tang smells magic. That's the river gourd, isn't it? No, stop sniffing. It's a wine gourd. It doesn't smell like wine because I drank it all. The beautiful demon raises a hand, and her compatriots lean back. She steps forward, and Xiaocheng shrinks under Tada's shadow. Oh, don't be scared, little courtier. We're just here for the gourd. Nothing more, nothing less. This doesn't have to be painful. Just hand it over and maybe we'll let you go with your skin still attached to your flesh. Eep. I can't and I won't. This gourd is mine and you can't have it. The massive demon bursts out laughing like rumbling thunder, and this lithe demon kind of snorts in a quick fox-like way, and the beautiful but vicious-looking demon smiles in a way that doesn't quite reach Tada's eyes. You hear that, Shalang, Tang Tang? Oh yeah, I sure do. Loud and clear, Bai Guxing. It looks like our little friend from the City of Heaven is asking us very kindly to please, oh please, separate their bones from their little body. So let's give them an underworld welcome, shall we? And Shalang, the massive demon, starts to step forward, but that's when the three of you arrive, and you hear all of this. You see all of this, you witness all of this. So, Nova, how do you fuck up the demon's day?
Back off! And Seir will throw his crescent blades to chink at the monk staff with the curved shovel and a crescent blade at the end of it.
I love that. Could you use a different verb? Just as a retake for the podcast.
Sorry. Yes, sorry.
No, it's totally fine. I think it's hilarious.
Seir arrives, does not bother to ask any questions, and he looks up at the largest demon that's ahead of him, and he raises his crescent blades and says, "Back off!" and will toss the crescent blade like a discus, aiming for the staff that the larger one is wielding.
Excellent. It flings forward. You're aiming it at the staff. Are you trying to knock it out of Shalong's arms, or just kind of get his attention so he'll turn to you?
I want, porque no los dos, I kind of want to knock it in such a way that it knocks him off balance a little bit, because that's a heavy weapon. Okay,
so that's gonna be a move, I think.
Yes,
this is to channel your
so.
power. Because you're not trying to, hurt him necessarily in this moment, right? You're not trying to,
For now.
Unleash violence. Yeah, this is more like a warning shot. Okay, so when you channel your mythos or logos to overcome an obstacle, reshape the environment, or extend your senses, describe how your power flares and roll 2d6 plus tags. I think you already described it, so just make that roll, baby.
Yes, I will make that
Connie,
roll.
I have a question to ask. Just.
Yeah, go ahead, Lumièra.
Oh, I know where
Real
this is going. I know
Real
where this is
quick.
going.
You and me, Sam. One.
I'm sitting over here like, so my boy, Dice Luck, knock some wood for myself, calling this out. Don't be too hot and spicy. So like, what if I added like some seasoning on top of that?
You'd like to help? You'd like to
what if
help
I-
Seir
I
throw this
help?
like a discus?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, but my real question is, do I have to call that before we find out what he rolled or after?
You know what? No. But I will be kind and say you don't have to. So we can
Thanks.
see
I'ma
what
hold
the
on to
roll
that.
is
Yep.
like.
Mhm.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay.
Seir.
Nice, Connie.
All right.
Because he couldn't surprise us, which is why I was like, Val,
Surprise us with a
Yeah,
roll.
listen, it
We're
would
not
be a
even
nice
looking for
change
box
of pace.
cars.
Val's
Look for anything that's
dice.
not an abject failure. All right, Val.
Okay. I need you to make a point for me, all right? Like, we need to salvage some things over here, all right, Di?
we
All
can't
right, so I
grade,
will-
we can't grade on a curve. We can't do it on a curve here, Val.
All right, Val. What power tags are you
Alright.
invoking?
I am using How to Hunt. I am using
Okay.
Crescent Blades.
Excellent.
And that's about it, because I don't have powerful against demons, so +2.
Well, demons would count as gods.
Aha!
Yes, all
Powerful
I'm
against
gonna say
gods,
is the
baby!
Okay,
Let's
then I'm going
go.
to invoke weak to gods and just
Yeah.
a weapon.
Yep, that's fine.
So weak to
I
gods in
need
terms
you-
of it's the same kind of trade-off that you had against Twinzing's Azure Serpent form. Just a weapon means if this goes south, your, I think, innate viciousness might flare and make this do more damage than you're trying to do in this moment. Okay?
Yep, sure! Please die, please.
Just a +1.
Okay, yes! That's an 11 on the die, +1 for a 12!
Go team!
Okay,
Yes!
excellent! Yeah! Wait, why are y'all the
Thank
bad
you,
guys?
Dice.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, on a 10 plus, the effect is exactly as intended. So you're trying to knock the pole out of this huge demon's arms and get his attention. It works. The silver crescent flings forward, hits the pole right where it's weak, and knocks it out of Shalong's arms. His arms go kind of akimbo to the side, and there's a massive thump, like a huge elephant's foot stomping onto the ground as the monk blade hits the pollen-covered floor and rolls a few feet away. Huh. Hey, what the hell? Not cool.
You heard me. Back off.
I'm not gonna. Oh, look! 3 new little ants here to play ball. Well, you can have your fun with this one after we're done taking the gourd. And Shalong kind of starts to stomp over to where the monk's spade had fallen out of their shoulders and bends down with not too much finesse. You get the sense that he's really big and strong, but physically perhaps doesn't move too quickly.
Lumièra, feeling a bit too much in her bag, backed up by both Xainan and Seir, will just chuckle to herself. So here's the difference between me and my friend here. My friend asked. I'm not asking.
The other 2 demons don't completely turn away from Xiao Cheng. They're still keeping an eye on them so they don't run away. But they do cheat out to face your approaching party. And the Vulpine one, with 9 different fox-like tails, moves forward and starts sniffing kind of at the 3 of you, but without bridging the gap yet. Hey, Bai Guting, they're not gods. Not demons neither. They're cultivators. Can we maybe just focus, Tong Tong? Well, what do we have here? 3 would-be do-gooders. Like my compatriot Shalong said earlier, you are more than welcome to come have a little soiree with the courtier here. We just want the gourd, then we'll be on our way. Really,
We
the
want
only
the courtier
person who...
and the gourd.
Oh,
Both of them.
I'm afraid that's not gonna happen.
I'm afraid I didn't ask. And Lumièra will flourish her hands in front of her and cast whoever this is in a liminal.
Okay, sounds like you guys are
Absolutely
starting
not.
a fight. So that one, okay, that action would constitute starting a fight, a combat, I think. So I'm gonna need you off
so
first.
hard.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think y'all are fighting.
I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. I'm not
We're
sorry
not
at
really.
all. Who the fuck did you think
I
you were
was
talking
trying.
to?
Okay. I think instead of diving into action, since Lumièra's acting first, that's your first action of this combat, of this fight. So that's gonna be to channel your power.
Cool. All right, let's do this. I'm going to...
Just roll 2d6 plus tags, because you've already described how you're flaring your fingers out.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to figure
you're trying
out
to
what
trap
tags
her.
I'm gonna
Okay.
use.
Like
I'm
freeze
acting
her in
first,
time.
so I don't get a chance to use anything in relation to diagnoses or first aid. So what I will use is love is power as well as forbidden knowledge. I want to use control of time as well as creating liminals and shielded by time too. But
Okay,
I
that's a
will
plus 5,
also
right?
inflict doesn't understand this power.
Okay, that's
on
-1.
myself.
I'm also gonna... that makes sense, because you have no idea what you're doing, and it could go completely awry. I'm also going to invoke Disrupts the Journey as another -1, and Fatigued, because
So
this
plus
has
2.
been a lot, and y'all have not had a chance. Yep, so that
Right.
is a +2.
Cool. That's a good hot 7.
Okay, so on a 7 to 9, choose one. The effect is limited, or the effect is volatile. What's it gonna be?
What if the effect was volatile, Connie?
Please,
I love that. That's always, I think that's such a sexy option. I'm so into it. Yes. So what does it look like? As for a second, everything seems to be under control, and a bubble filled with translucent clock gears flickers into existence around Bai Guzing.
I think Lumièra was feeling a bit too much in her bag, and she's got so much on her plate right now while she's dealing with the information that she has. And what happens is much like in the gardens in the wild sea, we see this bubble, but time around it rapidly speeds up.
So yeah, so it seems like kind of the optical illusion is that for her, everything around her is super fast, but she, to the outside, looks like she's just in dense slow-mo. Lovely, super into this. So here's where the volatility comes in. The liminal spheres itself into existence, and for half a second, it's in control of you, and then you feel a red-hot, sharp spike of soul-chilling pain rock upward from your gold-tipped left fingers, and then a liminal flickers around Seir, and then disbands, and then flickers around the peach tree, and we see peaches suddenly ripen even more, and a bunch of them start falling to the ground, and then it discorporates, and then... So for this entire combat, liminals are gonna randomly flicker into and out of existence all over this courtyard.
Lumièra!
Okay, so who is the next person who's gonna act? I'm gonna let the boys decide between the two of you.
I think Xainan was about to say something, so I think Xainan was like, literally he had like put his thumbs in his belt and was sidling up to this extremely hot demon, and then suddenly she's encased in a liminal, and he's just like, the fuck is this? And so he turns to, I think it's Tong.
Yes.
And seeing that Nova is gonna Nova this situation, he just leans over and says, "Boo." And as he does, he fully embraces the ghost form.
Oh my god, y'all are just using your forbidden magics here, okay?
He doesn't really understand that it's super forbidden. He's
Did
just
not.
new to this.
I just threw my sword.
Forbidden.
Love it.
Forbidden.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to scare them?
He wants to scare this poor demon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you do anything, I need you to roll a d4
Okay. I'm now
for the
scared.
liminal.
I knew it. I knew it. I'm so sorry.
You got a 3? Okay,
Yes.
you are not affected by a liminal in this action. Alright, so you can do your move as normal, but you do see liminals pulsing into existence erratically all around you as you lean in. I think this is going to be I think a channel your power as well. You're trying to use this ghostly connection to scare Tong Tong. So roll 2d6
Yes.
plus tags.
All right.
I'm sorry. I'm
We're
still
gonna do.
learning.
We're gonna do untethered existence.
Okay?
Messages from beyond,
Okay, that makes sense.
and resourceful criminal.
Okay, I'm going to invoke a thin mask.
Yep.
Because who knows if you're able to keep up this intimidation or if something less secure filters through in this attempt to strike fear. And I'm also going to invoke Haunted by Dusty Memories as you step back
Yeah.
into the ghost realm and you feel a familiar thing, a swell of grief, a swell of tragedy behind a closed door that you're not looking at. So roll 2d6 plus 1.
And he feels like he's standing in a memory as he's here as well. Oh, that's really bad. Cool. This is gonna go great, y'all.
Yes!
So that's a 5 total.
On a 6 minus, the GM will describe how your Mythos or Logos spirals out of your control. Mark one fade or crack on a theme of your choice. I think it makes I think your it makes sense which theme is being faded or cracked here. I think what this means is as you lean forward into the ghost realm and say, "Boo," Tang Tang turns to look at you, and their entire body shapeshifts. Right? They change. The 9 tails wrap around their form, and when they come back down, the tails are gone, and so is this vulpine-like face. And instead, you see Azalise. But it's not Azalise's eyes exactly. They're slitted and they look fox-like, but everything else about Azalise is exactly as you remember. What do they look like, Xainan?
Their skin is so close that he can almost touch it, like stars, like night sky. Their dark hair with the braids move with this unnatural movement that doesn't belong to them at all. And the scarf that they wear isn't right. The pattern isn't one from Kiseki. It's different and he doesn't recognize it, but it's the right scarf. It's just completely wrong. And he's so shocked by this that he looks down and he is also not in his clothes from the city of heaven. He's suddenly wrapped in the clothes from Kiseki, farm boy. He doesn't go here.
And the voice that comes out of Azalise's mouth is not theirs. It's still this fox spirits, and Tang Tang laughs and moves Azalise's face in a way you've never seen Azalise's face move. It contorts with a kind of cheerful, prickish attitude, and they say, "Well, it appears that you're new to the ghost realm, but I'm not. You dabble with what's in the past too much, you might end up getting your heart hurt, little ghost boy." And Tang Tang darts forward and brushes the side of your cheek with a sharp, clawed nail that does not belong on Azalise's hand. I need you to increase Haunted by 1, or take Haunted 1 if you don't have that already.
Yeah, no, we're increasing Haunted. You're right.
Excellent. We pan across the battlefield to find Seir. Roll me a D4.
Okay. 2.
You are affected by a liminal, so
Thank you. I wanted that. Yes.
roll me a second D4.
That's another 2 again.
Okay, so you are going to be stuck in a similar liminal as to Baiguting. You can still do something, but you kind of, as you start to move, you enter a space, and then everything around you seems to move extremely quickly. You can still pass through the space as part of your movement for your turn, but that's going to affect your actions and the consequences thereof. What would you like to do?
I think in this moment there is the velvet on Seir's antlers begins to chip away as time goes on and peels off, and there's like specks of red blood that begin to like flare up within the liminal, like little globules that oscillate all around him. I'm so mad, but I'm also in a liminal and I've never been in one. So I think Seir doesn't know if his blades will reach, so he will instead focus on trying to break out of the liminal in the most crude, like physical, like he's reaching his hands through the little invisible sphere where the line meets, and is trying to tear himself out.
Okay, question for you. I realized I had to ask this probably earlier. When you threw the blade, were you expecting it to come back like a boomerang?
Yes.
Okay, because you were so successful, I think it did. So you have both of your blades.
Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to establish that. You enter the liminal, and I think you're going to have to unleash violence against the liminal.
The liminal?
With your crescent blades. Yes, so roll 2d6 plus tags.
Let's go. 2d6 plus tag. So I will invoke my crescent blades because I got them.
Excellent.
How to hunt. I will actually pick hungry form. I am so focused right now in my hunger that I am breaking through it violently, like an animal, like a caged animal trying to bite through their enclosure.
Are you using your blades, or are they sheathed and you're using your hand?
I think he's using his blades. Now that I have 2,
Okay, makes sense.
I'll use
Cool.
them both.
Excellent.
So,
That's a +2, yes? I'm going to invoke scares people as you're letting this like innate kind of destructive power flow through you. So go for it.
Oh, I need to be less happy about when you invoke my weaknesses. Okay.
+1.
That is a 9 total. Not terrible.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, you exchange blows with the liminal. So you get to inflict a status with tier equals tags. I'm gonna rule as you're able to break out by the end of your turn, but you're also going to take or worsen a status of my choice. I'm going to have it be, this is fun, cursed. You're gonna worsen your cursed status by 1. And what this means is, as your claws from the crescent blades dig in and you rip it, you wrench it apart, the liminal shatters around you. And Lumièra, as that liminal does shatter, you feel another searing jolt of pain ricochet up the gilded part of your arm. And you know it's from Seir. And Seir, you have been cursed by the Eye of Time, as you are identified as a threat. I think the gold, for a minute, Lumièra, seems to take on a will of its own. It constricts around your hand, and you see your hand twisting away from your body like it wants to go towards Seir and trap him again, prevent him from hurting you. Do you fight this?
Absolutely, I'm gonna fight this. Are you kidding me?
Okay, you're able to wrestle control over your hand very easily. What does it look like?
I think Lumièra looks at Seir and just briefly for a second, she sees him and Sing, but like 12. Like they're not when she first got there, but just when they really started getting into shit at Trans together, the four of them, she sees that for a second, and I think you actively see her like wrestle her left hand back into her and stuffing it into her cloak pocket, like kind of like using her cloak to wrap it up and hold it tight against her to stop it.
I love that. Yeah, you immediately just stuff your hand back towards your chest and you hold it right into your cloak pocket. Like, no, you can't. That's your friend. What? For a moment, it feels almost like your arm. No, the gilded thing on your arm, this connection with chronergy wanted you to do something, and then it kind of slackens. And you got the sense that it wasn't just to hurt Seir, it was specifically to protect you. And Seir, I'd like to do a soft retcon. Instead of Cursed 2, I'd like you to take Watched by Time 2. So as you break out of this liminal, you get the distinct feeling that you are being seen, observed, but you don't see eyes anywhere. It's not the demons, it's not your strike team, it's not Xiao Cheng, it's not anything that's here, it's something beyond this place, maybe even within the journey that suffuses all of the sister realms, but then you've tumbled out of the liminal and you're back into the middle of the fray. And you are standing directly in front of Sunlong. By now, he has finally picked up his weapon. This entire time, this huge demon was just bending over to pick up the monk spade, and now it finally goes over his shoulder again. But it's not his turn quite yet, because now that all of you have gone, it's time for your allies to do something. Xiao Cheng.
Xiao Cheng, please.
Sees everything that's happening. Bai Gujing stuck in the liminal, Sunlong having with his back turned to them, picking up this monk spade, and Tang Tang menacing Xainan. Their eyes are wide, orange, darting. They turn and they begin to flee. They start to run out of the battlefield toward one of the buildings surrounding the courtyard. They're booking it. And they vanish behind a set of fruit trees in a whisk of deep green robes. And now, it's time for the demons to do demon shit. Shalong finally hoists the monk spade up over his shoulder. You see him kind of... Actually, I'm gonna soft retcon. I want to do Shalong last. Bai Gujing. Bai Gujing lets out a deep intake of breath, and on the exhale, instead of breaking out of the liminal with force like Seir had, you see her very slowly start to turn within it, reaching for the beautiful sash that's kind of draped around her robes, and in very slow bullet time, you see as she takes the sash, it starts to transform in her grasp. It turns from a translucent sash to a long, sharp, jagged sword made of reticulated bone. And this entire time she's moving in slow motion. This is happening while all of you were acting. She cocks her head, her arm back and throws this sharp, jagged sword forward. And as soon as the tip of this lash exits the liminal, it moves in regular speed. And it all the way toward Lumièra. Sam is taking a bio brick, so actually it's not gonna go toward Lumièra. Let me retcon. It goes all the way forward toward Xainan while you're being menaced and distracted by Tang Tang. So this reticulated sword is going to wrap around your left wrist, and these sharp bone spurs dig into your arm, dig into your body, and you begin to feel your vitality being drained from your person and siphoned into this demon. But in a strange twist of fate and an irony, the pain grounds you to reality, grounds you to what's happening here, starts to pull you out of the ghost realm. Would you like to accept taking Drained 3 and also be anchored back into reality, or resist this?
I would like to resist this, please and thank you.
Sounds good. I have, after some revision for playtesting, changed the resist a status move to make it flow more easily. So when you resist taking a negative status, burn a tag for every tier you reduce. So this is drained 3. You would have to burn 3 tags to reduce all of it.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm going to... I think I'm gonna burn at least 1. Yeah, I'm gonna say, unspoken eulogies.
Okay.
Because all these people remind him of some people he used to know, and he can't stop thinking about it.
Yep.
And the one that didn't now does.
You don't have to roll anything for it. You just burn it one for
great.
One to one.
Perfect.
Okay, so you would just take drained 2 if you're only burning 1 tag.
Okay, I just need to take less statuses. I'm so scared.
Okay, it's all good. Cool. So you still feel some of your vitality being drained, but you resist it, right, by kind of anchoring yourself to that theme of yours. And now we pan across the battlefield to find Tang Tang. Sam is still gone, so I am going to have I'm going to have Tang Tang as soon as you are kind of pulled a little bit out of the ghost realm, those tails swirl out of nowhere again. 9 of them, vulpine and orange with those bright alabaster tips swirl around this not Azalis, this falsehood of Azalis, this illusion of Azalis. And Xainan, roll me a d10. 1 for each tail, plus a secret surprise.
Okay. 9.
Okay, that's one of my favorite ones. So as soon as the tails come down, you see that Tang Tang has gotten a lot bigger. This shape changer has ballooned to twice their height as they take on the form of a giant panda. With a huge lumbering ursine body, black limbs, and a face that kind of looks like a bandit's face with its black circles around the eyes. And they just go... and they fall forward onto you with the intention of entrapping you underneath their massive body. This would be a pinned 5, which means you can't take any actions related to maneuvering your body as long as you're trapped underneath this panda. Would you like to resist?
I don't have any more tags that I think I should burn right now, so no.
So what does it look like as you get, bam, pinned underneath this huge bear?
I think first he was looking at this blade wrapped around his wrist, and he was making a plan to escape from that, and just as Tang Tang just grows in front of him, he's looking, and then suddenly the sun vanishes behind the giant panda bear, and I think, Seir, you just see just like a panicked look before he is completely crushed by this giant bear, just like, but only in his eyes.
And then bam, the shadow goes over you and Xainan Ash vanishes underneath the massive mass of this panda bear. And now we sweep across the battlefield to Shalong. Shalong has straightened with this monk spade across his shoulders, but in one hand. He turns to you, Seir, and he kind of shakes his head side to side like a wolf ready to charge, and you see the golden threads going through their black hair, going through his black beard, lift off of his hair and transform into sand. And this sand starts to cover the battlefield between the two of you, obscuring his positioning from your eyes. You don't know where he's going to strike. It's not just the visuals, it's like tiny million little needles digging into your skin, digging into your eyes, and there's also the roar of a sandstorm confusing your senses. You can't tell where he's going to strike. And then you see it. Your shadow. Your shadow in the middle of this sandstorm, it twists, elongates, becomes denser, and then surging out of your shade, a hand outstretched to intercept the spade end coming out from your blind spot. Yike, protector of Zhao Yao, the chosen of Yainan. They completely surface out of your shadow and grab onto the blade with their back pressed against yours with their naked hand, and yet it doesn't bleed. And with a strength that does not befit their lithe insecure form, Yinghe shoves Shalong away and off of you, and they step out of your shadow. They turn to face you as you're covered by this swirling sand. Seir, hi, are you okay?
Yinghe? What are you?
Why are they here?
Yinghe?
Actually,
Seir's-
Lumièra and Xainan, neither of you can see this for now. They're blanketed in swirling sand.
I can't see anything. I'm under a bear.
Yeah, you're under a panda, yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching Xainan under a panda, so
Seir like holds onto the forearms of Yinghe. What are you doing here? Artemis. What? How are
I
they
know,
injured?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Are they injured?
No, they look perfectly whole, perfectly intact. Their eyes are wide, blinking, looking at you. A kind of flustered expression settles over them. Artemis, right, the person who cast me back to Xiaoyao. I've been keeping an eye on you. I wanted to keep you safe. I didn't know. There's so much I wanted to say, but I wasn't sure. And interrupting this conversation is the polearm. It once again, it swoops out of nowhere in the middle of the sand, in the middle of this demon's home, this territory he knows how to traverse so well, and it smacks Yinghe across the ribs with a sickening crunch. They let out a and they're flung into the wall of sand, whisked away by this demon, and the sand dies down. It swirls back into Shalong's beard and Shalong's hair, and you see them having flung Yinghe across the battlefield. They've slammed into the trunk of a cherry tree with pink cherry blossoms fluttering all over them like a pink snowfall, and they slump against the roots and they kind of go limp for a second.
Yinghe! And say something snaps in Seir as he watches the cherry blossoms flutter around Yinghe's stock-still limp body for a moment. And he turns over to Shalong. So you want to die then? Fine. Let me grant you your wish, and I will unleash violence.
Excellent. I mean, we're going right back to the top of the order for PCs. I think you're going to act first. So, unleash violence. How are you trying to unleash violence upon Shalong, and what power tags do you invoke?
Seir digs deep down into that monstrosity he knows dear. Something has snapped within him. All bets are off. Everything that he's tried to suppress is gone now. Yinghe protected him. It's not supposed to work that way. He is supposed to protect Yinghe. He was supposed to protect Sig. He's supposed to protect Nova. And he will not fail again. And I will use my monstrous countenance, powerful against gods, hungry form, how to hunt.
Okay.
And Yinghe, because Yinghe just got hurt for me.
That's true. The only other tag I'm going to invoke is weak to gods, but that's still a +4.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how this goes.
Let's go,
All
baby.
right. Let's go. So that's a how much again? +2?
+4.
+4. Perfect. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's an 11 total.
Okay. Just tell me what you do on an 11.
Seir makes that promise known to Shalong, and the shrine dog fangs grow out of his face. The tusks pull forward from the jaw, and his arm turns into almost like a lion-like bear paw, as it kind of like oscillating around his arm, a thick band of like stony fur, and his large claws grow out of his hand, and he just smacks Shalong across the face. And he'll start pouncing on him, and as soon as he gets a grip onto Shalong, I want to bite into Shalong.
What the fuck? Where are you biting this man?
Bite him on a sexy shoulder. How's that sound?
Oh yeah, you pound him onto the ground. He's bigger than you. You're massive and strong, but this guy is like Igni size. But you take him to the ground, and just like the way that you disarmed him, it's like an elephant's foot stomping onto the floor. Doof! The floor vibrates as both of you go sprawling across pollen and rotten fruit, and you're biting into him. You're biting into his shoulder. You're tearing. You're ripping. You're letting this anger, this destruction, this disaster course through you, feed you this bloodlust. So, would you like to not suffer or worsen a status in return, glean a weakness, flaw, or hidden desire, or seize an advantage?
Ooh, delicious. I get to choose one. I would like to glean a weakness, flaw, or hidden desire.
This demon, as you're biting into him, is letting out a get off me! Get off me! What the fuck? Get off me! He's terrified. Whatever is driving you has struck fear, genuine fear, into Shalong's heart. And there's a pause as the other demons stop fighting. They turn. You see Bai Guizing finally steps out of the liminal, or rather the liminal vanishes because it's so volatile around her. She falls gracefully onto her feet, but turns her head, that long black hair swirling in the wind. And the massive panda also lets out kind of looks up in Shalong's direction. And here you sense that these other two demons are fearful of you too. A cultivator, a person, a divinely touched monk. Eating, attacking, biting a demon. This is not the way. This is wrong. This is terrifying. And in that moment, you understand even demons are scared of the devouring.
And Seir removes his jaw from the shoulder of Shalong. What color is Shalong's blood?
His skin is dark emerald green, so I think it's a bright azure blue.
Blue blood pools across Seir's jaw and drips down onto his chest and the hem of his sash. And he looks over towards the other two frightened demons. And he just looks them directly in the eye, presses down onto the wound that he has just made in Shalong.
Bai Guizing, please, this guy's out of his mind! Enough! Tang Tang, back. And Xainan, you finally feel a massive weight lift off of your chest as this panda becomes smaller, 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 and lifts up in a swirl of tails, becomes this vulpine demon again. You know what? We're not getting paid enough for this, so... And Bai Guizing lifts up her hands, the reticulated sword turns back into just the translucent shawl that drapes across her elbows again, and she's starting to back away toward the Ascension Gate. Do
Xainan
you let her
stands
go?
up.
Go ahead.
And from underneath the panda, he'd managed to fish his hand down into his belt further, and he's just holding his dagger. That hooked dagger. Because in him, something very old has been awoken. That need to survive, that calling. And he steps forward. He doesn't even look at Seir. He doesn't see the blood. He doesn't look at Lumièra holding her arm close. He steps forward and looks these demons in their eyes. You better run now, before we change our minds.
Tang Tang, get Shalong. And Tang Tang lets out a, yes, ma'am. And the tails swirl, and when they come back down, they turn into a massive direwolf, big enough to get underneath the fallen Shalong, kind of hoof him onto their back. They limp toward the Ascension Gate, and as all three demons back away onto the raised stone dais, Bai Guizing says, as the runes begin to glow with that void light once more, well, we were just kidding around, you know, just a couple of demons, a trio of demons having fun.
Get gone.
Whatever the three of you have going on, you need to get that checked out.
I
As soon as Tang
suggest
Tang-
you listen to my partner.
As soon as Tang Tang approaches to get Shalong and like Bai Guizing is trying to coax away from this, Seir, eyes brimming with bloodlust, looks over the tongue and just goes, just to.
A kind of wolfish whine of terror flinches away from you and limps onto the dais. Well, I would say it was nice to meet you, but... And a pillar of black light shoots up from the Ascension Gate, and as soon as it's down, they're gone. And a sense of tension dissipates for a half second across this courtyard, but it is soon interrupted. You barely get a second to catch your breath. You barely get a heartbeat to look at each other and discuss what just occurred when all of you hear a flapping noise, and a and Goose comes out. Yes, comes waddling insistently, honking very loudly, flapping his wings loudly and aggressively, approaching the battlefield, running toward the dais. And as the light dies down, Goose hops onto the dais and looks around. Honk, honk, honk. Peck, 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 peck. Like they're pecking the place where the demons used to be. Honk, honk. And they're desperately flapping their wings, and they kind of waddle back down and half glide, half run back to you, Xainan. Honk, honk, honk.
Xiaocheng is safe, I think.
Honk,
Xiaocheng!
honk, honk.
Oh, it's not that.
Hello. And Xiaocheng steps out from behind a tree, the same tree that Yinghe is slumped at. And Yinghe is in the middle of kind of rubbing their head and starting to get up. Xiaocheng looks down and tentatively reaches a hand forward and helps this demigod up to their feet. Hello there. Hi. I think we have a lot to discuss. And as this dust clears, we see the figures that remain in Plumleaf Courtyard. We see Yinghe shifting from foot to foot, awkwardly refusing eye contact with each of you. We see Goose ruffling his feathers, looking in the direction of the vanished demons with despair and distraught and disappointment. And finally, Xiaocheng, we see slowly straightening to their full height, twisting their hips so that River Gourd is in full view, but their arms are wrapped protectively around it, around all of the gods trapped within. And that's where we're going to end the session. So thank you all so much for tuning in to this special Arc 2 episode. I've been your game master and creative producer, Connie Chang. Find me across the internet at ByConnieChang. That's ByConniechang. I'm going to pass things over to Val.
Okay, I guess I'll say things. Hi, everyone. I am Valiant. Let me bite a Demon Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all around the internet at Valiant Dorian or at Odds the Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure I just set you on. And tonight I had the distinct pleasure of playing your local devourer, Seir, who uses he, they pronouns. And I'm gonna pass it over to Pop Up. Sorry, Pop Up.
Hi everyone, I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. And tonight I had the pleasure of being a man crushed by a bear. Xainan's preferred way to go, Mr. Xainan Esh. And I'm gonna pass it off to our liminal creator of the hour.
Hey y'all, this is me, Sam Star, playing Lumièra. Did I expect that to happen? No. Do I really care because my team is still here in the aftermath of it? Seemingly ineffective? Absolutely. Hi. Yeah, you can find me all across the internet at Lust for Life X, LUSTTFORLIFEEX. I played Lumièra, our favorite bad bitch. What's going on, boss? Take us home.
It's me, the boss. So much happened that episode. I had prepped for combat. I had also prepped for diplomacy. So interesting that we immediately went to throwing hands. I love it.
I was gonna try.
I did not mean to immediately get active. Like, Lumièra was, I don't know, something triggered stand on business.
Sometimes the story just compels you to do what you gotta do. So we will be back next week. That's going to be March Can I Do edition. March 16th, 8 p.m. US Eastern Time for the continuation of this. And the week after that, it's Eragaishi time! So excited for that. Again, I wonder which NPC they're going to portray. Woo! So excited for that. Love you all so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are on Twitch, stick around for the raid. No doubt we are going to be raiding someone really awesome, so use the raid message in chat. Tell them about everything that happened this episode, as always. I'm so sweaty. We love you all so much. Join the Discord server if you'd like to talk to our community of fans who get traumatized by us willingly every week. And support us on Patreon if you can throw at least just even $3 a month at us. That helps us so immensely. That's the cost of like a coffee every month, and it helps us so much, and you get access to a lot of cool stuff. So patreon.com/Transplanar RPG. That's the best way to support us. We love you all so much. See you next week, and then in 2 weeks for Eragaishi! Bijou!